Well, good afternoon, Pipers. This is the Bass Piper. Welcome back to the channel. It's Monday afternoon, about 1:15. And I got sitting there thinking, I'm sitting back here in the cigar lounge. Now, I'm going to get ready to have me a cigar today. But I'm not going to be having it back here, but I'll show you what I got. So I'll at least use my cigar as a prop. How about that? But I'm smoking a new cigar from West Tampa, or will be from West Tampa. It's called the West Tampa Red. As you can see, kind of the red or dark red band. And this has a Mexican San Andreas wrapper with a Nicaraguan filler and binder. And it's a full body, full strength, that I usually don't smoke the full strengths a lot. But I wanted to try it. I think in one of my previous videos, I had the West Tampa White. And I said I wanted to try the red and the black. And I got both of them. And I'll try the black one later. But I'm going to try this one today. But since I'm in the house, I don't smoke cigars in the house. So, hey, I can use it as a prop. How about that? And so, just want to get on here today and talk a little bit about something totally different than pipes and cigars or just everyday kind of stuff. But I wanted to get on here to share a little bit of my weight loss journey with you guys and Mrs. Bass Piper's weight loss journey. Now, some of y'all know we've been on a journey since June the 1st. And since June the 1st, we have lost together, her and me both separately. We're running neck and neck. We've lost 33 pounds. And she's lost 33, I've lost 33. We're going to the gym about 4 times a week. We are doing intermittent fasting, 16/8. Which is from around 11 o'clock in the morning till 7 in the evening. That's our eating window. And we're also mainly trying to do carnivore or kind of a ketovore. It's a carnivore with little ketovore put in it, as far as sometimes some veggies and different things like that. But I want to share it with you to let you know how things are going and some of the things that I am learning. Over the last several months, I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels, of course, that talk about the carnivore diet or eating style. Now, for quite a few years, I've always been leery of that because you've always heard, well, that's fine if you're going to stay on it for a couple of weeks and just get off of it. It's not good to stay on it, yada, yada, yada. But I'm finding out that is bogus, guys. The carnivore eating style and listening to the doctors that have the channels on YouTube, I'm finding out that we have been sold a bag of goods over the course of our lifetime. And I think I mentioned it a little bit in my previous video, but guys, I tell you, everything that it seems like we've been told that is bad for us to do is really what is good for us to do. Now, I'm no doctor, and I don't claim to be. I have worked in the medical end of things. But I can tell you from listening to doctors, I mean, what I'm telling you, sharing with you, is not just from some, jock rot dude out there on a channel that don't know his butt from hole in the ground and just kind of doing his own thing. These are people that are actually living the life, doing the thing. Doctors, cardiologists that have been on it, that totally recommend it. Other doctors, PCPs, different ones with different backgrounds. Some of the doctors on there is Dr. Chaffee, Dr. Berry, Berry, Ovidia. I think it's Ovidia, Dr. Ovidia. He's a cardiologist. In fact, he's got a book out. I think it's entitled How to Stay Off My Table, Operating Table with Heart Problems. he was really a heavy man and lost on this as well, and in a lot of better health than he was. But we're finding out that, eggs aren't bad for you. Red meat's not bad for you. Just so many things that we've been taught. Once you get off of the sugars and the carbs. Now, I know that's a tough statement to make sometimes, because a lot of people, they will go to their grave, or they would rather go to their grave than to give up their ice cream, give up some soda, give up, the donuts, give up all the goodies, right? But the thing about it is, you don't have to give it up forever. You want to give it up for a good while to get your body back in place of where it should be. Get your metabolic panel fixed. There is a gentleman that's been on carnivore for about 2 years now, and he does a video called No Carb Life. No Carb Life. Look him up. And he sits in front of a microphone, and he interviews, and one of the first things that he asks usually the people that come on, he tries to find people to come on to give actual real life accounts of the carnivore style of eating. And usually the first question he asks is, what got you on carnivore? Why carnivore? Why are you doing carnivore? And it takes off from there. But it's amazing to see, guys, how many people have changed their life, changed their metabolic panel. They're no longer on metformin. They're no longer diabetic. They're no longer doing the cholesterol medicines. They're no longer, all their metabolic panels, autoimmune deficiencies, all of these things are getting fixed. Now, there are some people that'll see this video and they'll go, well, Base Piper, hey man, live and let live. We're all going to die. We're all going to die. So what difference does it make? Well, that's true if you want to take that approach to life. We are going to die. Now, being spiritually minded, we are all going to die unless we happen to be living when the rapture takes place and the Lord comes back to rapture the church. Then the Bible teaches in Thessalonians chapter 4 that, the dead in Christ shall rise first, and then all that is living will be caught up together in a twinkling of an eye with the dead. The dead, when we talk about the dead at that time, we're talking about the dead Christians at that time will be caught up first, and then those remaining will go up behind them that's living. But until that day comes, we all will go by death. So the object is, it's not a matter of dying. We all are going to die. Every second, just about, one is born, one dies. One is born, one dies. And so that's a true statement. But here's the part of why you want to be as healthy as you can. To live longer and live healthier. To live longer and live healthier. To see your grandkids, to see your great-grandkids. To stretch it out to maybe your 80s or maybe your early 90s, whatever the case may be, that you can still live a healthy life, not stuck on medicines and all the aches and pains and problems and junk that's associated with our modern nutritional ways. And so I think I mentioned this girl not a girl, but a woman, this doctor in my previous video as well. And her name is Dr. Casey Means, C-A-S-E-Y, Means, M-E-A-N-S. Her brother is Callie Means. Callie was a big advocate for pharmaceutical and FDA in his time framework, and before he switched over doing some other things. She was a head and neck surgeon, and she left the medical practice because of what she was constantly seeing, and she set out to be a crusader and an evangelist, so to speak, of eating right and fixing all of the metabolic nutritional problems and inflammation that she kept seeing within the patients. And it's a true statement, look it up, that we have a cycle or a circle of a death panel. The FDA and Drug Administration, the medical practice, and then Big Pharma. That cycle right there is what's got us in the shape we're in, especially here in America. Do you realize that a lot of things that we put in our foods and they are putting in our foods is not found over in the European countries? The same item. You could take cereal. You could take whatever. You look at the box of the ingredients that they're throwing into the Americans' diet versus they will not allow it over in the European countries. The chemicals, they won't allow it in their foods. Well, that ought to be an eye-opener right there. But a lot of the ones that are involved in the FDA and in the Food and Drug Administration, putting these chemicals and putting this super processed junk out called food, come from the cigarette industry. The ones that are filling all the cigarettes with garbage, and we know as pipers and cigar enthusiasts that we know cigarettes is a no-brainer. It's on its own island. It's packed with carcinogens and a bunch of junk that should not be. It's not pure tobacco. It's not pure tobacco. It's not fermented tobacco, getting all the nasties out of it and all the ammonias out of it and all the junk out of it. In fact, the cigarette industry is pouring it in, the ammonias, pouring it in, spraying it on the tobaccos, even more than what's in the tobacco already. And that's what's getting people hooked. That's what causes the nicotine to go rampant in our lungs and through our body when cigarette smokers are inhaling that into their lungs, right? These guys are now, a lot of them are working for the FDA as well, putting in God only knows what you've been eating for years. Well, through my research, I found out that the proof is in the pudding, guys. Now, this might be a little longer video, and some of y'all are saying, well, that's no-brainer. Base Piper, most of yours are. Well, it might go even a little longer because I ain't going to have a part 2, 3, and 4 with this. I'm just going to blow it out here one time, okay? But it's food for thought for you. If you haven't tried it, if you've been struggling with weight, if you've been struggling with problems, your metabolic panel, cholesterol, sugar, all that garbage, I can tell you the proof is in the pudding. Let me give you just one example. My wife, 3 months ago, when we started back in June, right before we started the gym, June 1st, she had her blood work done because she had to go see the doctor. We were going to go see the doctor. She had it done early. She's got to go see her, in fact, tomorrow. She went ahead and had it done early. And when she got her blood work back, she was using this as a baseline to start somewhere. Come find out that Miss Base Piper no longer was pre-diabetic, but she had went over from her last visit to diabetes. She went from like a 6.1 or whatever it was, pre-diabetic, to a 9.6. That was an eye-opener. She took her blood last week to get a more updated when she told the doctor, hey, can I wait? Doctor was getting ready to put her on, the old famous metformin. She said, Doc, I don't want to go on that stuff. There's too many side effects. I don't want to if I don't have to. Now, she's told the doc she's going to try, get off and change it around for years. And of course, most doctors go, yeah, we hear that from our patients all the time. Let me have time to take the weight off. And most of the time we're putting more on. And so, but she got serious because diabetes runs in her side of the family, big time. Her brothers and sisters have got it. Her dad died with it, or complications of it. And so she got her report yesterday in Sunday school. She's been checking her phone for the lab results all week. She got sick on last Wednesday, come home and had some kind of a bug and was down with some fever and stuff. It wasn't COVID or anything. But she got better, started feeling better. And so she looked up in Sunday school, right before Sunday school, to see if it had popped up, and it had. And she come and brought me in there and showed me. Guys, in 3 months, since June 1st, and last week she took her blood, because it's on a 3-month panel how they check your A1C. 9.6. She's back down to 6.1, 6.0. That's how fast you can turn your sugar around. By eating right, exercising, losing some weight, you can turn it around. It's your choosing, just like it's ours. You know, I started several months back, maybe a year or so ago. I told you I was trying to lose some weight. I started this Noom, whatever it was called, eating. It worked for a while, but I got tired of how it was set up. And I gained what I lost back. But this time we're locking in, and it's coming off slow. We want it to come off slow. But it's like anything, you start losing a little bit pretty quick, and then it just kind of plateaus where, you know, maybe a pound a week, 2 pounds a week, that type of thing. And every week, you know, you may bump a pound or two up, then you'll lose 3 pounds. You know, it's that type of thing. That's just the way weight works. But me personally, I've gone from a 50-51 waist down to now 46, 33 pounds off, reshaping my body, and it's working. And I'm waiting to see when I go 3 months. Mine will be in January. I want to try to go in March, so I'll probably wait till February and stretch it out to get my blood work. But I'm pre-diabetic. Mine was like a 5.8 or something like that. But I want to turn it around, and it was fantastic news for my wife, because now she's trying to get it even lower. She can go lower. I was happy if it came in at a 7. Something, you know, at least go in the good direction, but I didn't realize how much it had dropped. So she was ecstatic, and so was I. So the proof is in the pudding. The carnivore way of eating is a good way, and a lot of people's on this for years. And it's amazing. Don't take Base Piper's word for it. Get on YouTube and look up carnivore eating or diet, and you'll see the different things. You keep running through everything. You'll see the doctors, Dr. Chaffee, Dr. Berry, a couple of other doctors. I can't remember everybody's name. Dr. Ovidia, I think his name starts with an O. And you'll see him on there about staying off his table, I think is the name of his, or I Fix Hearts, I think is the name of his channel. And it's amazing to listen to these doctors and listen to some other people, their testimonies. It blows your mind. This is the way we were meant to eat, not the trash, the carbs, the sodas. And I know it's tough. It's just like being an alcoholic, a cigarette, you know, addicted to cigarettes, a drug addict, whatever the case. We are carb addicts. And it takes you about a week or two. Now, I can tell you, you'll see some changes. If you can break that mind over matter, you're going to find out that what Base Piper and Miss Base Piper do, we eat meat, we have cheese, we do more of the BBBE, which is butter, bacon, beef, eggs, and we'll throw cheese in there. What do you drink? Water, unsweet tea, black coffee. Do you cheat some? Yeah. Every now and then, put some creamer in there. Or, international creamer, have I cheated? Yeah. This past Saturday, I went out to the Texas Roadhouse Steakhouse, had a steak, had all that, but had a baked potato, had a few rolls, carbs, man, even had a Pepsi. Wow. But here's the cool thing about it is, if you're the type that can jump on it, and then jump off of it, you're fine. And it doesn't mean you've got to stay carnivore forever, just straight carnivore. Once you get your body in check, then yeah, if you want to go have a piece of pie, or you want to have a soda, or you just want to go blow it all on one day and go ice cream, everything, man, just go nuts, then get back off of it. The other cool thing is, as you're getting in more shape, your metabolism is going. So when you do cheat, guess what? It's burning it up instead of just sitting there. And then while you're going to the gym, that's the cool thing about the gym, you may not lose that week. You might stay plateau and stay steady, but that's okay. You didn't gain nothing, didn't lose nothing, but you didn't gain nothing because you're working it out. You're burning all that sugar and all that junk you cheated on. Just burn it off. Now start back again. But the bottom line is you don't keep the same habits of what you've been doing and then start eating carnivore and eggs and mix it all together. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Okay? Because what you've got to do is you've got to change from burning up carbs and sugars to burning up fats. Your meats. You don't get a lot of your lean meats anymore. You buy a steak or a ribeye with fat in it. You eat the fats. You want the fats. That's your burner now, not sugar and carbs with your spikes going up and down all over the place. You want to be able to switch the fuel burning process to where your body's burning the fats. Now, let me get real with you and be brutally honest. Even your bathroom breaks will change. You won't be blasting the commode up 2 and 3 times a day. You know why? Because you don't have the junk coming out of your system that you're pouring in it. Potato chips and grease and carbs and garbage. That's why they call it, one doctor said, waste. Because your body's getting rid of that junk it don't use. Now, I used to go a couple of times a day. Blow the commode, slam up. Pow! Boy. Whoo! Now, I might go once every three days, 4 days. Totally different setup. Because your body now, what you're putting in it is using it. You have less waste. Your body is now burning getting the nutrients and the stuff up. I got a little weary there. I go, man, my goodness, I ain't going to the bathroom like I used to. What's wrong? It's pretty soon it's going to be coming down my ears. But no, it's a totally your body is changing. There's a guy some of you guys would get a kick out of. He's a cigar smoker now. How about that? His name is Mitch, and he goes by the channel name Old Guy Carnivore. Old Guy Carnivore. He's 77 years old, good shape, been on carnivore for about 2 years. He started when he was 75, 2 years ago. You guys have got to check him out. He's a typical old codger. Hey, Doug, you would like him if you see this video. You talking about codger. Now, this guy's codger. Pat, you'd enjoy him. And, he's just a typical older guy. But he tells it like it is. And sometimes his language is not too filtered. But, and he has his coffee, his black coffee in the morning, and a cigar. He likes the Perdomo Friscos, is what he smokes a lot of. And, but he has a live thing just about, twice a week. He comes on 2 or 3 times a day. He has a live thing with people that are on and talks about the carnivore, talks about different stuff as well. People ask him questions. But the old man is pretty thorough and tells you like it is. But guys, little different today. It's been 24 minutes. I'm going to try to wrap it up. But they don't want us healthy. They want us sick. They don't want you healthy. They want you sick. They don't want to kill us quick. They want to kill us slow to make the money. FDA and the drugs putting it in the foods to give you the diseases that you end up going to the doctor that ends up being chronic instead of acute, because it becomes chronic because the pharmaceutical, once the doctor writes the script for it, the prescription, The pharmaceutical company comes in with the pills, and they want to keep you riding the pills, baby, all the way to these pills eventually blow your organs out. So now your family can give money to the funeral home while you're laying up there in a casket, dead as a hammer. You get the picture? Mankind is not kind to mankind because of the greed for money. They don't care about us. Most of the doctors don't either. Now, there are some that truly are in it to try to help people, but they're ignorant. And that's not a bad word saying they're stupid. They're very smart to be doctors, but they're ignorant. They don't know enough because they're not trained. From a lot of the doctors that I've listened to, they do not train the doctors in nutrition, but a very, very little bit. They teach them, because they're all backed by pharmaceutical companies, these medical schools and all these medical colleges, they're taught to look for the problem, do the blood work, diagnose the problem, and learn about the pills that will manage or cover up the problem until you die. And that's how Big Pharma is big billions. FDA, big money. Medical profession, big money. That's why when you go on a lot of these drugs, you're coming back every 6 months, every 3 months to get your liver checked, get this checked, get that. You never come out of the web, man. Here's a way to come out of the web. Change your eating habits. What have I been doing? Well, I'll have anywhere from 4 to 5 eggs in the morning with bacon, about 6 or 7 slices of bacon. Add some cheese to my egg. Sometimes I'll make a 5 egg or sometimes 4 egg omelet at 11 o'clock, sometimes 10 o'clock. You know, I don't stay strictly on 16/8. Sometimes I'll eat a little ahead of time, or my schedule, whatever I got to do, I may have to eat early. Sundays, we don't do it all because we got to eat really early to get to church. But I'll eat eggs, 4 to 5 eggs in the morning, every morning. Good night. Man, that's taboo. Yeah, that's what they want you to think. And then all of a sudden they come out and said, well, eggs are your super protein, man. I mean, it's an egg. It has all the nutrients to give life to a chicken. Okay? It's not bad for you. But it's bad for you if it means making money and putting everybody on statin drugs. Red meat. Oh, red meat. Cancer. All that. It's garbage. They don't want you healthy. When you look, if you just question anything, try it for 3 months. If you've got A1C problems, try it for 3 months. Do your research, guys. Go back in 3 months and get your blood work. Come back and comment to me what it was. And your cholesterol. That's another racket they got out, is your cholesterol. Cholesterol is not bad. We need cholesterol. And they're finding out through studies that those that have a little more cholesterol is the ones getting the less cancer. The ones that's getting the most cancer are the ones lowering their cholesterol too low. LDL was a joke, guys. The bad cholesterol is a bunch of crap. In fact, they've been looking at the wrong LDL. There's a large particle and small particle. Now, I think they've been looking at the large and not the small. And out of all your cholesterol, the main thing you got to worry about is your triglycerides. Because when you're on a carnivore diet, your LDL will rise some because of red meat, the LDL. The LDL, when they take the ratio of the total cholesterol and all the garbage and divide it by this and add that, subtract that, and square root this, they come up with a 1 point whatever, or 2 point whatever, or whatever. That's what they look at. The LDL now is becoming a thing where it's just a joke. But they've done all of that through studies that really wasn't amounted to much. A doctor back in the day come up with this thing about cholesterol. I think one of our presidents had a heart attack. Was it Eisenhower, one of them, and he started this thing about, eggs and all this mess and all this junk. It's all a bunch of garbage, guys. It's no definitive mess, and a lot of it is theory. A lot of it is this is what this. It's a way to sell the drugs. It's a way to keep you sick and not getting the right nutrients you need. Potato chips, sodas, ice cream, cookies, donuts, all filled with sweets. That's what you're filling your body with. That's not nutrients. That's why you poo-poo a lot. Your body I don't want that junk. It ain't gonna do nothing for you. It tastes good, and that's what keeps you coming back. That's why they're pumping the foods. The guys from the cigarette industry going on to the FDA. Man, how can we get these people to buy this stuff? Got to make it taste good. Salt. Man, salt's bad for high blood pressure. Get off the, no, it's not. You salt your food when you're on carnivore. Salt your meat, because that acts as a electrolyte, one of the electrolytes, because you got to get some electrolytes in you. My blood pressure has been down, even though I'm on some blood pressure medicine. My goal is to get off of that once I lose some more weight. I started it on June 1st, guys. I was 293 pounds. I'm 6 foot, 293. I'm 63 years old. I've been about 293 for about a year or two. My stuff just started creeping up. Usually throughout my life, I'd hang around 235, 245. But the last couple of years, with family stressors, my mother passing away, other things going south, my career I was in, all this stuff that I've talked about from time to time, the weight just crept right on up. Today, I'm at 260. And so I got about 60 pounds more to go. I want to get to 200. And so that's my goal. I'd love to get to about 190, where I got 10 pounds to play with, give or take. So if I start getting stupid, I can back it off. It'll get there. But, with blood pressure sometimes and stuff like that, it takes more weight to get off of you. But I'm noticing already with my blood pressure medicine, my numbers are getting lower. Because I knew on blood pressure medicine, my numbers were, about average, or sometimes it would hit the 140 over 82 or 140 over 86. And then it would go to 135 over whatever. Now, I'm looking at 127 over 69, 121 over 72. With heart rate was in the 70s. Now my heart rate's in the low 50s. So it's working. Even though I'm on my meds, it's working. So eventually I can pull off the meds. I don't take cholesterol medicine anymore. I can't. Here again, because of side effects, neuropathy effects, body aches. I was on it for 7 years. Couldn't understand what was going on. Didn't need you to be on that. You don't need to be on that junk when you're eating right. But you've got to make a decision to eat right or eat wrong. When you try to mix both of them, you're going to have the third storm. It won't be good. So just wanted to share some things with you today about my journey so far since June, July, August, September. I just crossed the 4-month mark. So I'm hoping by Christmas that I might be about 245. I'll hopefully be in the 40s, 240 something is my goal. But it's all a matter of eating. Now here's the other thing, guys. When you're on carnivore, you stay home more and eat. You're not eating out in the restaurants as much. And here's the thing, the money you're spending in restaurants these days, and if you tip, the tips and everything else, you can go out and buy for you and your wife, go out if your wife's doing it or if you're doing it, and go buy you some nice ribeyes. Go buy you, some chuck roast. Go buy you, the things you need to stay on the way of eating. Give it a shot. Hey, you can always go back to the old way. That ain't no problem. The problem is doing what's right. So, just some food for thought. It works. It works. And the sad part about it is we have been bamboozled For 60 some years, I've been bamboozled. My mom and dad bamboozled. But here's one thing too. My mom and dad, like some of y'all's moms and dads, they didn't go out to eat a lot. They ate at home. Home cooked meals were a lot better than a lot of this restaurant mess were and all the junk they're putting in that. And the MSG and all the garbage they put in the foods a lot of times. And the proof's in the pudding of the old way of life as well. They didn't eat a lot of carbs, my mom and dad. Didn't eat a lot of carbs, didn't they? Look, here's something to look at. Those of y'all that were around in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, look at people's bodies. They were slimmer, slimline. Guys had the six packs or the washboard abs. You didn't see many fat people. You didn't see many problems back then until the agricultural garbage started, the super processing started in the foods, the FDA garbage got going, the so-called food pyramid that we're supposed to be, that was set up to destroy us in a slow way. We got brainwashed. We got programmed, just like they're trying to do now with our kids, with all of this new movement coming into the United States. And that, you know, the LGBTQ, XYZ, ABC, 1, 2, 3, and all the mutilations that kids are doing to their bodies and all the revamping of the United States they're trying to do. Wake up, America. I know it's going to be tough for some of y'all for a while to get off of it, but I'm going to tell you, if you try it, it'll work. I'm proof. My wife is proof. I wanted to hold off on this because I want to see if it would work, and it does. In 3 months, taking her A1C to 9.6 down to 6.1. And she's going to, by the time she does her next blood work, she'll probably be in a 5.2 or a 4 point something. You know. And they'll sit there and tell you, oh, you can't turn it around. That's bull. You can't do this and turn it. That's bull. Test me on it. Start with YouTube sometime tonight or whenever. Sit back for fun. Look up the carnivore diet. Look at some of the doctors and some of the interviews, especially Tucker Carlson's got one where he interviews Dr. Casey Means and her brother, Callie. Listen to some of the doctors. Go to Old Man Carnivore and listen to Old Mitch. We'll get up in the morning, have your coffee and cigar with him or your pipe. You know, he talks about all kinds of stuff. Now, this morning he was talking about how he lives in Florida. He's worried about he's got to pack up because of that hurricane Milton or whatever is headed right towards him over there on near Tampa on the other side. And it's going to blow Tampa wide open. In fact, now it's a Cat 5. I just saw it. It's up to a Cat 5. It's supposed to hit Wednesday. And I'll tell you something else. What my theory and thinking is in another video coming up of the hurricanes and the stuff going on, the October surprises they've been talking about right before the election day. I did not know that man can control the weather, did you? Since World War II. I did not know that man had control over what they call cloud seeding and how they can direct and change courses of hurricanes. And oopsie. Don't get me started on the 3 states that are suffering right now, in Carolina especially. And what was said last week by our leaders. You guys have a great day. Until we see you again, relax. Have your pipe. Or your West Tampa. Don't forget, God's still in control, guys, no matter what. And don't forget the many blessings God gives us each and every day. Count your blessings. You guys take care. Bye-bye.